Hi. Hi. Hi.
Sweet.
Bipolar Blender episode
It's
5.
the fucking blender, baby.
There it is.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
happening?
We got to do an intro. I meant to do housekeeping on that, but we got to
Yeah.
intro.
Well, in the Facebook page, you need, on the Facebook page for the podcast, they ask you and allow you and kind of make it a procedure that you create an intro. So, I mean, we could even have it on the Facebook page. So,
The Anchor thing has the same thing, but
yeah.
so anyways, we need to figure that out next time we're beforehand.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
What are you eating, Chris? I saw you were eating something there.
you want to hear a funny story? So
Yes.
I cooked for a client today, like I normally do in my house. I went out and went shopping for them and came home and cooked their food. And then as I was finishing, I went to text them to say, hey, I'm on my way. And I forgot that they sent me a message the other day that said, hey, we're going to be out of town this week. So we're not going to need food. So I made all this food. And the funniest part is normally the client has a card that they give me or a gift, like an online gift card. So I go to Whole Foods and just pull up the online gift card when I'm done and scan it. This time I lost their card a week ago. And so I used my own money, which is fine. And so, but hey, now we have food for the next 4 days. So
I was about to say, so you got free food, but then actually you had to pay for it.
Yeah. we had to pay for it. So, but anyway, so that was fun. So I am eating butter chicken. I'm not sure if you're familiar. It's like a kind of an Indian dish, tomatoes and lots of spices and butter at the end. It's really good.
I'm eating
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts.
That's the breakfast right there.
I went out there and snagged one of my kids' Pop-Tarts while he wasn't looking.
You silly bastard.
I was like, fuck, I'm hungry. This podcast has to happen now.
Right, meow. All right, well, why don't we or you go, Ryan, go ahead and explain the topic thing for this week.
Well, the topic, this is a night version of the Bipolar Blender, our first night edition. Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, is it night up there, Chris? Does it get dark at the same hour?
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock up here.
Okay. Well, it's starting to get dark here. And we don't have a topic, so we're just gonna shoot it off the hip. I came up with just a couple sploogies. I was thinking like we could talk about top fears if we if we had the chance to eat dinner with one iconic legend, dead or living.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
We could do that. We could talk about porn. We had a conversation about porn the other day, Chris, that was interesting.
We did?
You seriously don't remember the conversation we had about
the virtual reality thing?
Huh?
The virtual reality thing I called you about? Yeah. I don't know. We're not talking about that. That's too
too aggressive.
That's no.
Well, dude, no, my wife, I was talking to my wife about that and she told me some interesting things. I was like, ugh.
Well, I don't look, I'm not gonna not do it. I'll just put it out there. I read a story. I saw a video. I was looking at content online and I saw a video. It's actually a series. It actually may have been on Showtime, whatever. It's a series called The Dark Net. So it basically takes different aspects of the dark web and it's like an 8 or 10 episode series. And the one that I watched was about how, and I believe this is in Canada, there are scientists and doctors in Canada who are actively monitoring the brain waves of pedophiles. So what they're doing is, and it's important to keep in mind that these people that are having these tests done to them are coming to this talking about the fact that they have a problem and they don't want to they want to try and quell it. So they're coming and saying, hey, I have this issue, help me. I don't want to think about these things anymore, or I don't want to, whatever. So what the scientists do is they put on, it's a kind of a two-part thing. They put on I think it's called an EKG machine. It's one of those helmets that you put on that has all the weird looking lights and shit on it, and it measures your brain waves. So what they do is they put the helmet on, and then through virtual reality, right? So they put a headset on this person, and they basically show them things that they're interested in. That's all I'll say. They show them stuff, and what they do is they monitor their brain waves while they're doing it, so that they can see if they can try and identify what these certain brain waves look like that correlate to pedophilia or correlate to a person being sexually aroused by something like that. So, and then they're also one of the most controversial things I've ever heard or ever talked about. They're also through virtual reality are putting these people in virtual situations that are otherwise illegal and inappropriate. It's obviously still inappropriate, but they're putting them in these situations to try and see what their brain waves look like during something like that. But one of the main points is that one of the scientists or doctors is trying to possibly have this be an option for people that want help and that want to try and eradicate or just deal with their obsession or addiction. So they're basically, allowing them to do something in virtual reality in order for them to become satisfied and not go out and physically do it.
That could get really dark, dude. People.
That's what I'm saying, dude. There's
getting their
all
fears
kinds,
out, like pedophiles and all kinds of crazy shit.
There's all kinds of insane aspects of that, and my God, I mean, it's not, But I didn't want to actually talk about that.
My question is it like a conditioning thing, like Pablo's dog, like where they show them an image of fucking? I don't give them like some bad taste, so they like.
No. See, what you're talking about is like the negative reinforcement, right? Where it's kind of like when you put a rubber band on. If you think about smoking or whatever, you snap the rubber band. I think that may be some. They didn't specifically talk about that part. They just talked about measuring the brain waves while they're doing this, and then allowing them or giving them.
So more or less, they're gathering data to see what like makes
gathering. And what they're really trying to do is, I think the end goal is for them to be able to look at someone's brainwaves and tell whether or not they are a pedophile or whether or not they have. They
can give them a piece of flair to wear so we can identify pedophiles.
Oh God, I can't imagine what that would be, but yeah, it's like a big sign, like Bruce Willis and Die Hard. What does that sign say?
What
instead of like a Star of David?
They drop their foot and walk over there. That's great. That's fantastic.
Bellevue.
Yeah. So but anyway,
I think that'd be a good whole episode if we can dive into.
Yeah. Something to talk about.
Something to talk about. But yeah, and then like I said, the other things I was thinking about were just random nonsense, like always. So
I like the who would you have dinner with or who would you have lunch with? I think that's a cool thing, and I feel like that could probably spark some
combo
debates or banter. Fuego combo.
Who would you eat dinner with, Dylan?
I was just thinking that either like JFK or
that's a good one.
That's a fire dinner invite.
Sick reference, bro.
Yeah, you could talk about all kinds of shit. You could talk about
fucking bring it back.
Yeah, hold on. Let's keep going with this, Dylan. What makes you? Why do you say you can talk about somebody else? But what about John F. Kennedy?
I just heard like this huge breaking news. He might have been a fag.
My God, I heard that too.
There's like this whole conspiracy theory that he, was gay, and I'm gonna talk about that and Marilyn Monroe and
Marilyn Monroe
is gonna kill him.
Marilyn Monroe is actually a plant, and that guy that he brought, his lifelong friend that he grew up with.
They're holding hands and shit.
Yeah. Where do y'all hear this shit? Like I don't. What feed is this on?
Social media,
YouTube, baby.
You just. You have to be really bored and not want to get anything done and waste a lot of time, and then you can.
Yeah, I'd try to blow him and see if he went for it.
But anyway, what else about him? What else about him? Gets your neurons flowing.
Dude, I would love to know like who he's like, if he's paranoid about anything, if he thinks something's like up behind his fucking, he gets like neck hairs standing up. Dude, there's so much shit. I would love
How
to
much
know about all
cocaine
that
he
shit.
consumes daily?
That's probably a good one.
And
You
is
know,
it like really fire coke?
Yeah, dude.
I think the Kennedys and the way that all went down is so interesting, with him being assassinated and then his brother also being assassinated. Makes you kind of wonder, you know, what were they?
Yeah.
What were
Dude,
they?
he got shot at point blank range. His brother, like, dude, that's fucking crazy.
In a hotel restaurant. He was just like walking through their kitchen and just dude took him out
By accident?
No,
this dude.
Oh,
and
he
he
was
said some
assassinated.
crazy
I know
shit.
the JFK thing was the magic bullet, right? With
well, that's John F. Kennedy. We were the guy, his brother that got assassinated in the hotel kitchen. That was Bobby Kennedy.
Didn't one of them die like by a rocket launcher or something? Like, I'm dead serious. Like a plane crash. So wasn't there like a rocket launcher?
His son died in a plane crash, I think.
Yeah, like in the theory behind that's like someone like RPG'd it or some shit.
Oh, dude, there are so many conspiracies, and what makes it interesting though is that at that time, the stuff that the Kennedys were talking about or whatever, what the campaign that he was running on was very. It was very controversial.
He wanted to take out the CIA. He wanted to dismantle the CIA, and they were like, "Nope, nobody. We're gonna kill you. We are gonna kill you."
Right. So and then if you, I've watched a lot of stuff on Oswald and like his story and why they think that he was a plant and all. And there are some absolutely interesting. And I'll call them theories, but they're almost there are some very interesting things that you can see for yourself that don't really. That kind of, I won't say don't add up. There are things that you can physically see, tangible things that you look at, and you're like, what? That doesn't make sense. So it's
and his vice president, Lyndon Johnson, seems super sketchy. Like way too happy after he dies. Like it's so sad. Sad.
Lyndon Johnson is
so tragic.
From my understanding, it's funny. He's literally responsible for the Vietnam War. There's a whole, there's a whole situation. Submarines and yada yada, but apparently they say that his call to take out this submarine and I'm paraphrasing, I'm not, but
you're right. It was the Gulf of Tonkin incident. They made up this whole thing that Vietnam had shot missiles or bullets at their ship, and that's why we had to go to war with them, and that never happened. They were never shot at. It was all fake to get us into war.
And from what I understand, the gist or the general idea is that Kennedy was going to lead us away from that. So but again, I don't know, man. I'm in like first grade when it comes to politics. I know about this much. It's not, I don't. So.
And anyway. If he's not gay, I'd love to just smell his fingers, dude.
What would y'all be eating at this dinner?
Yeah, that's a good question. What are you gonna eat?
I don't know, man. Maybe some
his dick.
Yeah, his dick is the appetizer. The main course, dude. Some fucking just a good steak, dude. Some 60s steak.
That'd
sense. Be awesome. With some mashed potatoes.
Yeah, back when the beef was the beef.
Yeah, real beef. It wasn't all cloned and fucked up.
God, damn, that's good. What about you, Chris? Who would you eat dinner with?
Oh man,
and you don't have to cook.
That's
part of the deal.
My instinct is to get real cheesy, and say that I would have have a meal with my father, because.
Oh, that's fucking good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I would probably do that. And for anyone listening that doesn't know, I just didn't have a relationship with my biological father growing up. I had a stepdad who did his absolute best, all the respect in the world for him at the time. Ryan can attest to the fact that we didn't get along when I was growing up. So in terms of a father figure, I had. It was just a little bit different than some people. It was kind of like your typical, stepfather situation. But, Reggie and I are, when it comes to our emotional outlook, we're just a little bit different. He's not the most, physical person, I should say. Like there wasn't a lot of hugging or things like that growing up. But anyway, I digress. you know, I didn't know my father, and over the years, it's been odd. Like I remember when I was a kid, you know, every couple of years, I somehow he and I would have an exchange. I remember one time, this was when AOL chat rooms were huge, right? Like when it was all everybody was on AOL chat room. My cousin Josh, who is hearing impaired, was really, I mean, that was like his thing. He would talk to all these people. And I remember a situation where me and Josh were online together at the house when we were talking with someone in the chat room. And the person that we were chatting with, come to find out, it was my dad. But it wasn't his, you know, it wasn't his username. So I didn't really know it until after the fact. So, but over the years, he and I would talk for a few minutes and then it would fade away. You know, and then we talk for a few minutes and it would fade away. And it's not any different now. I would say, you know, maybe a year ago, he and I started talking a little bit, but for whatever reason, you know, it just, and it's nuanced and there's all this stuff. And I'm not going to go into a tirade about why we don't talk or any of that. I mean, we possibly could at some point, but
that'd be a fucking fire episode. We just trash talk our parents for fucking
that would be a fire episode for sure.
Go into it,
sure. Especially since the three of us were so close growing up that like I know Dylan's parents pretty well.
Dude, my father chased Chris out of our house like screaming out the back door.
I left the door.
Come back here, you little shit.
So, you know, we, as far as a parental episode, that would be cool because again, Ryan's parents, we all sort of,
parents for sure.
But I would say, you know, my reason for wanting to sit down with my dad is because, you know, I'm 37 years old. I have a little girl who's almost 5, and I have a son who just turned 1. You know, and I found myself, you know, you remember in Talladega Nights when Ricky Bobby's like, I don't really know what to do with my hands. I feel like that all the time. You know, I just don't really know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing.
But so like the dinner with your dad, that's what like you would try to ask questions to.
Well, that's funny you said it because I don't know if I would the specific questions that we're kind of talking about. I don't know if I would get to. My question to him would be, how and why do you seemingly develop some kind of we develop this thing and then, you know, you're kind of gone. I can say that if I was his age and I had the relationship that I've had, if I had a son and had that relationship with him, if he reached out to me and wanted to, you know, develop a relationship, I just feel like it would be the most important thing in my world, and I would be always, you know, yada yada. And some of it's kind of odd because my father is a hippie bastard who doesn't carry a phone, manages a vinyl record store, doesn't really use a computer, so he's not as sort of connected. So, you know, basically, like I would send him an email and I wouldn't hear from him for 4 or 5 days, and most of the time he would get back to me, but it just always felt like I was the one who was like, you know, reaching out or whatever. And I would want to know why is that. Like I also, you know, my mom said that my mom had me when she was 15 and my dad was 18. So, you know, there, as far as why it didn't work out, I mean, my God, there's a myriad of things. My mom kind of gave me the impression that he was a basic 18-year-old kid, right? Smoking pot, drinking, hanging out with his friends, and that, you know, he just wasn't ready. But like, I'm not sure who instigated that, whether or not mom was like, get out of here, I never want to see you again. And he was like, oh God, please, please. I know that after that, you know, I didn't see him for basically the rest of my life. He lives in Seattle. I live in DC. So we're very far apart. But I guess I would just want to ask him like why, or is there something missing? Like what's missing that has made you give me the impression that you're just not that concerned with it. It's not that big of a deal. That's just what I want to know. And as far as the specifics of stuff we can obviously go into, but I think that the initial question is just like, what happened, right? Because I still don't know what happened. Like my mom, you know, I don't know. My mom's not around anymore, so I don't really know what happened. So that would be my first question, like what happened, and then why, you know, what because I think he has 3 girls of his own now that are all, you know, I think the oldest one is college age, so and he's got a woman that he's, you know, had those children with. They've been together for forever. I'm not sure if they're technically married or not, but anyway, I think that I just kind of, I'm at a point in my life where I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm yearning for some kind of like guidance or something, like to be intellectually stimulated. I'm finding myself in that situation a lot, which is why I enjoy doing this, and why I've tried to tell Ryan that we're going to do this. We're going to do a podcast about movies. Let's do a podcast about music. Let's just, you know, so I feel like I'm at an age where I'm seeking some intellectual stimulation. And I get that from my friends and I get that from my wife. But as far as, you know, as far as the fatherly thing is just, you know, not something I really experienced growing up. So it's hard for me sometimes to see my kids and know what my role is. I guess I'm still kind of figuring out what my role is as a father and as a husband too. I mean, I've been married for about 5 years. So yeah, just like general curiosity about the situation. I cannot imagine I can't imagine being in the situation that he was in at that time, with my mom being 15, him being 18. Like, I can't imagine what that was like. So
yeah, I want to have those same conversations with Greg sometimes. Like, I actually, thinking about it, I would definitely pick Greg as a dinner.
Yeah,
JFK would be cool, but Greg would definitely be the one.
Yeah.
What about you, Ryan? Who would you have dinner with,
dinner?
motherfucker?
God, you guys have good ones. Fuck.
Hold on 1 second.
Y'all are way better than mine. No pressure. We're gonna both talk to meaningful people. I was thinking, fucking John Benet Ramsey's mother.
Oh my god!
I want to fucking talk to that bitch. You know what I mean?
Holy
like,
shit,
what
dude,
the fuck happened?
Dude,
what did you do?
You just literally, like, it's over. It's over.
Yeah, like, okay, so, like, seriously, like, I would want to have the whole family. I would like to just talk to all of them, you know, like, seriously, give me some sort of, like, end game to this, like, what fucking happened.
Yeah.
So many. Where's the murder weapon?
That's fascinating, dude. We could do, I mean, I know I could do a podcast about that tomorrow. I think that case is beyond. Ryan, did you listen to the 2-part on Morbid, or have you just?
I just finished it. I think the last night I went to work, which was
nice.
Tuesday.
Nice.
But yeah, I was just like, it like ended in my earpiece. I'm in the factory. I was like, just standing there, like staring off. Like, I was like,
yeah, it's insane, right? I mean, there's probably 4 or 5 or maybe half a dozen things, you know, that happened in that just literally, you're just like, what the fuck? Like, I was just, that's got to be probably the most fascinating, like, unsolved murder case I've ever heard of.
Yeah, and originally my mind went to, like, Hitler, because I would like to talk to Hitler too, like, in English. I'd like him to speak to me in English, in my language, and just find out what the fuck happened there. Like, what made you so angry? Yeah, shoot him in the face. But yeah, I definitely don't. Mine were not as good as y'all's. Y'all's are way better.
Oh, dude, Betsy Ramsey. I think her name's Betsy.
Is that your kid, Chris, screaming, or is that mine?
Yes, it's my kid screaming. Sorry, if anyone's listening. Dude, that's great. I think that's. I would have never thought of that. So that's great. That's a good one, right? That's great.
Like, have mom, dad, fucking brother right there.
Well, what are your initial, like, what are your initial?
I think it was the brother. I think the brother accidentally fucking killed her.
Yeah.
I think from what it sounds like, but then, like, the whole, like, the setting up the crime scene, like the fucking garant and fucking, like, duct tape. I'm like, oh my god, that's so brutal. And
the fact that
at the same time, when you have parents like that are, like, totally all about, like, we're gonna put you out in beauty pageants at the age of 6 and dye your hair blonde and fucking, like, it's not inconceivable that they would probably be like, okay, let's dress this dead body up like it's been fucking brutally fucking murdered. Like, sorry, I don't know.
That's a jump.
This dead body.
I think that's quite a jump, but
I don't though. I don't, like, you know, like, you're gallivanting your child around for exploitation. So at this point, you're like, we'll just do it for the police now. I mean, doesn't go to prison.
I think that some of the other things that happened in that case lead me to believe that the parents had something to do with it. That's a good point. But the fact that the money that was asked for in the ransom was the exact amount of his bonus that year, the fact that the stationery that the note was written on was from their house,
and it was Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas, and like it was the day, and like the fucking, they put the pen back in the drawer that they wrote the ransom letter on. That
really?
The drawer that it went in. Like if you were just kidnapping someone, you're like, oh, I better put their pen back.
Right.
It was definitely a crime of passion, dude. They got sloppy. It was a
I think that there were so many things that happened in that were unprecedented, that had never happened before. You know, they actually sat. If you wrote that 4-page letter, if you were to write that 4-page letter from start to finish without stopping, you're looking at 25 minutes, 21 minutes or something. Who in their right mind is ransacking and running around somebody's house and is like, oh, I'll take 25 minutes to write a letter like that? That's asinine.
Well, I mean, but there are serial killers and shit that do, like that BTK guy would like literally go stay in someone's closet for 8 or 9 hours at a time.
Right.
Yeah. He was like wearing their underwear and shit.
Yeah, like this total. I mean, there's people that's. I mean.
No, you're right. That's
pathology behind it. But
and the thing that makes me go to that is the fact that if you look at the family, the husband himself is a very smart guy, right? I mean, they're all pretty smart and pretty with it. So it's just in my mind, it's like if you're smart or whatever and you do what you've done, I just feel like you wouldn't be that dumb. But if Burke had done it with a flashlight on accident, you probably would be in this, you'd be all over the place.
I'm about to lose my other kid who's going to go to prison for killing my other kid. Like, so that's the only thing. And then the dad tries to make fucking airline. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna call my private jet and fly us the fuck out of here the day after the murder."
Like, she's buried in the same town that I was born in Marietta.
Oh yeah, in Marietta. I know. It's like, hey, I was born there too.
Yeah. I think that there's a guy named Lou Smith, or maybe his name's Lou Smith, and you have to look this guy up. He spent his entire life. And he's an ex-cop investigator. He spent his entire life in this case. And there have been several documentaries that have come out now that are strictly just based on the information that he found. And that's an aspect of it you have to watch. Like he quit working with the police on the case because he said that he didn't agree with like what they were doing, and then there's all these. The whole theory about somebody coming in through the back window or whatever, they said that was not possible. Lou Smith, as a 65-year-old man, is on video pulling the grate up, jumping down there, and getting in the room. Completely fine. Like, and he's an old man. And it shows him getting out of that window. So the fact that the police said that, and then just the fact that they let the dad, they were like, hey, you, go search the house. Like they had him go search the house. There were people that his best friend said that he was pretty sure that he searched that room beforehand, and that there was nothing there. So there's so much crazy stuff. Yeah. It gets me excited. I love it. I'm fascinated by it.
Fuck yeah. And then I think we would have lobster. I think everyone lobster.
Lobster and pineapple.
Yeah.
Pineapple.
Oh, boo. Oh, too soon. About 30 years late.
Yeah, that was great.
But that's where my mind went with it, because that's just interesting. I always find like serial killers and like shit like that. I find it so fucking fascinating. I'm like, like God.
Yeah, I do too. We could literally do a whole other podcast. You know the documentary The Staircase we were talking about?
Oh yeah.
HBO is now about to put out an actual TV show based on that story.
Yeah.
So that should be.
I mean, serial killers, like, really, they just chase their dreams, and like they're not afraid to fail, I think.
Yeah, are you living? You watch those and like live vicariously through them. That's how I would do it.
I've had other people ask me, because like I work from home obviously all the time, and I'm cooking in my kitchen, so all throughout the day the TV in my kitchen is just playing, true crime documentaries and
I thought you were gonna say murder snuff films.
It's gonna be dark outside. But
8mm snuff films are playing all day in the background.
But also the fact that nobody was ever, as far as the John Bonet thing, nobody was ever indicted, convicted. It's just a crazy story that nobody ever. They found DNA in her underwear that didn't belong to anybody.
Yeah. Fucking nuts, especially with the fucking database that they have for DNA right now. It's like fucking even back then it was huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that'd be my dinner. No dessert though. Those people don't deserve dessert. I don't give a fuck.
It's a fascinating one. We could do a segment on or do a show on our favorite murders. What's your favorite murder?
Yeah, my favorite murder. Well, let's do it right now. What's your favorite murder, Dylan?
Ooh. So many to choose from.
Hold on, let me pull out my diary.
One of the last ones I watched was about a guy. I think it was up in the Washington area, the Pacific Northwest, and this guy was on this Highway 20, and he went for years, dude, killing tons of people, and didn't get caught for like 20 years, man.
He was the dude. He killed all the indigenous women or whatever. It was like all.
He was just picking up chicks all up and down this highway for like years, dude. I can't remember his fucking name though.
Yeah, I've heard that case too, and that one's like really fucked up because like the police didn't give a fuck because they were all like Indian women that were like.
Yeah.
It was just like no one, like everyone was reporting these women were going missing and all this shit, and like no one did anything about it. Like
that happens. I think you'd be surprised at how much that happens.
It's disgusting, man. It's like holy fuck. It's like or sex workers that just get murdered, like fucking crazy. It's like people that are like less dead, they say, or whatever. You know, like
the same thing with I would say with most drug addicts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they put themselves in a harmful position by working that kind of job, and they just get fucking.
Well, and
wait, I would definitely pick the Night Stalker. The Night Stalker, the best one.
That's it,
dude. He went from like he was a pedophile. He was fucking little kids. He was bashing an 88-year-old's fucking grandmother's heads.
Richard Ramirez.
88. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being 88 and you lived your whole life, and you got fucking this crazy fucking Latin kid all fucking methed and heroined up, and you think you're all good. 80 years you've lived, and then some psycho comes in your house and bashes your head in. That's insane.
And talk about like that kind of. It sounds ridiculous. It fascinates me to think that someone could brutalize somebody in that way. That's why I find it so enthralling or polarizing, because I cannot for the life of me fathom. It's just crazy.
He's the father of Antifa, dude. He just wanted to burn it all down.
What's yours, Chris?
Well, I won't say the John Bonet but that may have been. I also.
That wasn't a serial killer. I'm talking about serial killers.
That
was just a murder case.
Okay.
Or was it a murder case?
I would say I think the Zodiac Killer is the one that I find the most interesting, especially because I think that there are just about as close as you can get to identifying the person, and I couldn't even tell you what the person's name was right now. But if you don't know anything about the Zodiac, all the codes that they decipher, some of those codes that he sent to those news organizations have been figured out recently, like within the past couple of years.
Dude, it was more complicated than the Enigma, the fucking code that like fucking Nazis were using to fucking like transfer information. That dude was fucking beyond fucking.
I would say either the Zodiac or the Son of Sam Killer in New York.
Yeah, Son of Sam was that was both of those. But with the Zodiac one, do you think there was a copycat killer?
That's a good question. I would say that I'm such a skeptic of everything. It's hard for me to believe that it was the same person. It's just hard for me to believe that they weren't able to.
Like the 60s and the 70s, that's so crazy. Like there were so many serial killers. People were like, literally, I can now go out and kill someone in the same fashion that they're doing.
Right.
Because they're going to get blamed for it. Like that's like fucking.
Yeah, I bet cops, dude, probably like, I bet there's a lot more cop serial killers than have been busted, but there's been a few over the years. I mean, you got to be kind of crazy to want to be a cop. I mean, you got to have you want to have power. You want to fucking fuck with people.
Yeah, there's all kinds of shit there. People that want to be cops. I don't.
Yeah,
whatever.
Hey, my brother-in-law is a cop.
But
and he's fucking
good
crazy
man.
Shit.
Is he really? Your sister's husband is?
No, Holly's fucking husband's a cop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Hillary's sister, brother.
Yeah,
brother-in-law. Yeah.
But I would say that the Zodiac thing, and if you haven't seen the David Fincher movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and Robert Downey Jr., that's unbelievable movie. Yeah, those were good.
I think I would. I mean, just go with the classic fucking Bundy, man.
Yeah.
Fucking Bundy, dude. Talk about a fucking serial killer.
Talk about
he did it right.
He escaped police custody 2 times.
Yeah, jumped out a window or something.
It just started fucking murdering people like right off the rip. And then like his confession tapes. Have y'all heard his confession tapes?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit's fucking next level fucking crazy.
The way he did it was fucking insane too. He'd be like, "Oh, can you help me? My arm's broken." Clack, clack, bitch. Get my VW.
He'd go and like defile the bodies like for several days after he'd fucking like, mutilated them in the fucking woods. And then the whole fucking climax of the thing, climax, get it? With a sorority house. He just goes into a sorority house and just starts
beating the brakes off bitches, dude. It's fucking insane, dude. Fucking insane.
I mean, fuck, you talk about a fucking psycho. Like I said, like that's someone, and I'm not like saying like don't by any means. I'm not saying like serial killers are cool or good. Like, but like seriously, it's someone like in their own mind. Like they're like, I need to do this, and I believe that if I like, and they just fucking do it. Like, if
I'm the guy.
If normal people had that drive, a whole lot more shit would get done, you know?
Oh yeah.
You know what? You know the amount of fucking effort it takes to murder somebody would be like
planning, all that shit.
It's fucking crazy, dude. But
yeah, I would say the Jeffrey Dahmer story is also one that's
Dahmer's
good God. That might be the
Dahmer was the clown, right? Or was
that was Gacy.
That was Gacy.
Yeah. Okay. I think the Dahmer thing is crazy just because
he was the one with the people in the floorboards, right? Or in the crawl space.
Yeah, he was like setting up skeletons and making tributes and just that
kind of a cannibal
eating people.
There's so many serial killers. I literally get confused of like which one was he?
Have you guys ever watched Mindhunter on Netflix? Oh my God!
I watched one episode, I think.
Dude, Mindhunter on Netflix. They have there's 2 seasons. You have to go watch that. It's basically the 2 guys who started the behavioral unit in the FBI. They're the ones that came up with the way that they assign
behavioral shit.
But yeah, so they basically they set up, what's the word I'm looking for? Profiles. They're the ones who were like, okay, this person is probably this age. They're probably this probably, and they, I mean, obviously they, it's like it's unbelievable. But they go through a lot of the big murders. They do BTK. They do Ed Kemper. They do the Atlanta child murders. So
Ed Kemper is insane, dude. And he's like 6'8". That would be scary as
I think he's bigger.
Dude.
I think he's taller than that. I think
he's a big motherfucker. And when if you listen to his interviews now, he's so calm. It's fucking weird. Yeah. And he's like totally just like, I don't know, totally.
Dude,
okay
Mindhunter, he's in like 4 of the episodes. You've got to watch it. It's so good.
Hell yeah.
Just I'm gonna throw this out there and we'll go on to the next thing. But have y'all heard about the toy box killer? It's not one that's got like a lot of like publicity or whatever.
I think I've heard that name before. But
yeah, he's this dude. He was a park ranger. Lived out in a trailer, and behind his trailer, he had like one of those like pod storage units that he turned into like a fucking torture chamber. And he killed like 37 women. Would like abduct them and keep them alive for months at a time, and just fucking. I mean, if you listen to that case, it is beyond fucked. Dude, he was like, what's that movie? Saw.
Yeah.
Like, he would play a tape right when he kidnapped. He'd drug him and bring him to the house and then fucking play a tape. It was like, I want to play a fucking game. I was like, oh my God. Like, they got the inspiration for that movie from that dude. And he's a park ranger just out in the woods like da.
That's crazy.
All the time in the world. And they're alone most of the time. I would say,
out in the deep woods. No one's gonna hear you scream. Like, it's fucking.
Talk about a cool job.
Yeah.
What about that guy, Brian Laundrie last year? That was fucking crazy, dude. And they just found his body. They found his skeleton in the swamp in Florida, dude.
You heard about this when Ryan
was killed.
The couple that.
Oh, yeah, Dylan's fiance.
Yeah, Dylan, you saying you think someone killed him?
They found more bodies next to where she was found. They dug up a bunch of bodies where she was found.
Well, what was also really interesting about that case is there was and this might lead into what you're saying. There was another murder that happened pretty much at the same time, within days of them. So and I will say this: I don't know shit about shit, but when I watch Landry, when you watch him in those interviews, like to think about the fact that he flipped like that and did that to her is it? I mean, it's it's crazy,
mind blowing.
What's is also even crazier is the cops just put him in a hotel and she had to sleep in the van after she got like hit.
What is crazy. Wrong with you? You know, and this I've always found, or I find this aspect of all this so fascinating, because when you see these things happen, someone like Brian Laundrie or somebody like Chris Watts, the guy who killed his wife and his two kids.
That one too brutal, dude.
When you watch these things and you hear people talking, maybe it might even be before they find out that it was this person, but when all you ever hear is these people talking about, oh my God, there's no way that he would have done that. There's no way. I know him. I swear there's no way he would have ever done that. The fact that people don't realize that any person on the planet, and I truly believe this, and I don't know what this says about my personality or whatever, but I am fully believe that every person on this planet can be driven to do some things that they don't think that they're capable of doing. And so
your girl calls you a pussy enough times, dude. You're fucking there.
Well, whatever it is, I mean, whatever it could be that sets you up. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody will or that everybody whatever, but this whole and a lot of it's the social media stuff, when we present ourselves a certain way online, and then when something happens, everybody goes, oh, there's no way that Chris could have done this. There's no way that Ryan could have. Look, he's happy. It's like
he posts pictures about trees. There's no way that he'd kill somebody.
and that thinking. I mean, how many people do you think, could have been maybe saved or whatever if the person that was a witness to it, or if Gabby Petito's mom, or if any of these people could have just looked at that person and been like, he could possibly, but. And then the other, it's like it's always the same, and it's kind of morose and cynical, but it's like, as well as I do, as soon as someone dies, for the most part, they become the greatest person on the planet. They were so kind, because nobody wants to say anything negative about someone who's died.
Yeah, they're like, that person lit up the room when they walked in.
They all lit up the room. Every one of them lit up the room. Yeah. And talk about the Chris Watts case, that was very evident there, because Shanann Watts, his wife, was like, her job required her to like market herself. She was a direct salesperson of one of these health food shake things or whatever. So anyway, her whole thing was putting herself online and on Facebook and making herself and her family look like everybody was, all well and good.
Yeah, it's like branding. This is like branding her family.
And that when people do that, it just creates, it just makes this weird situation where people, and if you watch the Chris Watts interviews from the day that they found out that she was missing, the interviews of him standing on the front porch with it's odd. I mean, he's saying everything that someone would say, but the look in his eyes, and then to think about the fact of what he did, and then immediately was at and all the crying and all the, oh my God, I wish they would.
The next day, just like, yeah, man, I don't know, I wish she'd come home.
One of the worst things was
they go bench press some fucking weights, bro.
He tried to blame it on her. Like when they initially questioned him, he first of all said he didn't do it, and then the lady that was interviewing him led him into this. She goes, they're trying to, he's like, no, I didn't do it. The lady interviewing him is like, did Shanann do something? Did you find her do something? Did you see her doing something that made you do something that you regret? And you can see the look in his eyes. He literally goes, yeah.
I bet he wants to fucking kill his neighbor that had all that footage of him, dude. Yeah. That kind of like helped solve the case, dude. He had all this footage from his garage showing him like loading shit to his truck.
No, he didn't. He's still in prison. He's in Colorado.
Like in jail.
No, I don't think so.
Oh well,
I could be wrong. I don't think he's
in that man's being raped right
He's
now.
in that Supermax in Colorado, I think.
Yeah, that's the worst. I could probably see myself killing every other person on the planet, but not my family.
Yeah.
Like that would make sense. Okay, so look, do you guys want to? We've been talking about doing the challenge thing. Y'all want to implement that?
Yeah, do we each give another person a challenge?
I don't know. What do you think? Should we just have one challenge for the three of us? Should we all like fuck?
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah, maybe we should just present, but each week someone has to pick it.
Yeah.
Like every week, everyone picks a topic or whatever it is. That person also comes up with a challenge for that week.
And you know what we could also do? We could get into the, we could like, record ourselves doing it and somehow incorporate it into the, so people, if it's running 5 miles every day, we could like, film ourselves running. And Ryan, I'm all about it, but you have to realize that Dylan, I know you're like a runner and you're like running marathons and stuff. So your expectations of us have to be.
I'm not going to put anything on you guys I don't think you can achieve.
Okay, that's fine.
And I hope you would do the same to me.
Okay, I can dig it.
But shoot for the stars.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
I think we should do something easy for the first one, man. Like,
yeah, I do too.
So ideally, like, this podcast brought us all together, and I think it makes me like it brings me joy. So the reason I think the challenge would be good, because then it would kind of like help us like progress in like a positive manner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think people would like to see that. So,
well, do you have anything in mind?
Yeah, well, Dylan actually suggested it when I talked to him about it. He was like, just go a week without, like, not without cussing, but cussing less. Like, try to swear less. Especially in front of children.
Sure, I can do that.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think, like, for me, I swear like every other word. It's always my household growing up. You could just cuss left and right. It did not matter.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I'll be talking in front of people and they're like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And I was like, "What? Did I say something?"
Yeah, I think that people like us or whatever, people that grew up in environments where that it wasn't a big deal. I know that like if I'm having a conversation with someone that I don't know that well, that I'm getting to know, if that person is constantly cussing, it does. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It puts me in a different. It like kind of makes me see them from a different angle.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's negative. The power out of the word. Like if you use fuck all the time, then you can't really convey much emotion when you do use the word fuck, because it doesn't really mean anything.
Well, it's like Samuel L. Jackson, like fucking see, there it is again. Like I didn't even mean to say it right before that. I really did it. And it's like my preempt. It's like
fucking Samuel L. Jackson.
Like putting the word like in a sentence. Like it's like you know what I mean? Like I could just I think I would be a better person without it in my life.
I agree.
You have to consciously like keep yourself from using the word like too. You have to constantly change what you're gonna say.
So I think that'd be a fun experiment for the next week.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm wondering how we will
validate it.
Well, or judge, or I guess we can try.
Well, the people watching this are just gonna have to fucking believe us.
You know what'll happen?
Because I've never lied. I'm not a liar.
How about this? This is a really good test. If we have consciously put forth an effort, then when we come back next week, we should subconsciously not be cussing as much.
On the show.
Yeah, that's the only way. It's the only way to really.
Yeah, and if you're watching this on the Facebook thing or the YouTube that Chris has set up, let us know who has been cussing less.
Actually, yeah, if anyone's listening to this right now, and there might not be, if anyone's listening to this, if you want to, after you listen to it, go to the Facebook page and give us your best your best guess at who is going to do the best in not cussing. I don't want to know who you think cusses the most, but who do you think will be the most successful?
Yeah, leave some comments in the comment section.
That could be interesting. That could be interesting.
Tell us how to live our lives.
It's funny is that, my wife,
we have no clue how to do it.
My wife doesn't swear at all, ever. Like she doesn't. It never happens. I think I've heard her. I don't think I've ever heard her use the F word, but I think I may have heard her use a 4-letter word in the past 5 years, maybe half a dozen times.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's crazy, dude. I totally thought you were with Brittany. I don't know why. I totally thought that was your wife.
I can tell you. I mean, I know why you think that, because I was. I mean, years ago, I was. I did.
Lynch?
Yeah, I thought that was his. I thought they were married until we started doing this. Because I hadn't talked to Chris in like 4 years probably.
Yeah, it's
okay. I was like,
and the last time I really talked to him, that was who he was with.
I was young, but a lot of people may or may not know this, but Brittany and I actually had a child. We had a son.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was he had a I don't know what the technical term was or but from my understanding, the best that I could understand it is he was born with like a hole in his heart, and there is a technical term for that. I don't know what it is, but he was born with a hole in his heart, and I was 19 maybe. Brittany was a couple years younger than me, and without trying to get too dark in here, without trying to get too dark, we had to make that decision, right? Like Brittany and I, doctor came to us when we were kids, came to us and was like, look, this is the deal. Like we can either do our best and keep him alive. We can make his heart beat for him. We can transplant, all these things. All I heard was, you can either pull the plug or we can try. And, quality of life and all that, it's a hard decision to make. But anyway, yeah.
Especially at 19.
Yeah, I didn't know, I don't, it's funny how sometimes you can block things out that are traumatic. And I remember, like, I can see like scenes, you know what I mean? Like vivid pictures of like me sitting there and Brittany, but I think I kind of blocked a lot of that stuff out.
Yeah, that had to be fucking insanely hard, dude. That's fucked up, man. I'm
sorry. That's why, I'm sure that's why you thought that. So, no big deal. But
yeah, that's crazy. I thought that was when you were like 28, y'all were together. I got that totally wrong.
No, yeah, I was
way off.
I was way off.
I was fairly young, and it's just like it's just odd because I became good friends with like Brittany's mom and her sister and stuff, and like we, in Brittany's house, Brittany lived in the same neighborhood, right? I remember she like lived across the street. We we did the whole, like, at one point we had an apartment together, and we had the nursery set up in her mom's room and all this stuff. And I don't know what it is, but like, my brain won't go there. Like I can't, it won't. And I'm not saying because I'm like some kind of traumatic thing. I'm just saying like, I can't like remember what the room looked like. I can't, just all these things. And it's just odd the way your brain will, some people say that you do that, you repress traumatic
repression is what it is.
Yeah. Well, some people say that it's not true. Whatever. Whether I consciously or subconsciously block that out, I think that's it's a point in my life or a time in my life where things are fuzzy. Don't get me wrong. I was also really starting to heavily use
drugs.
Xanax and all that stuff. So anyway, that was a crazy time.
You guys do drugs?
Drugs do me, man. I don't do drugs. Drugs do me.
They do me good. All right. Do y'all want to bust this scenario out and shut this thing off or what?
Yeah, let's hear it.
We already had an hour?
Yeah, we got 7 minutes.
Holy shit.
This is a really good episode.
Fire fucking off the hip Sodi.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, sure.
What's the scenario, yo?
The scenario. Okay. Everyone close their eyes and get in their scenario positions. Blank slate. Blank slate. Okay. So you're married, right? You're married, yes. You have a great life, and you love your wife. There's no kids in the picture yet. It's just you and her, right? You guys are, let's say 5 years married. So you know each other pretty intimately. You take dumps in front of each other if need be. You smell the poo. So your relationship is strong, right? And for the first 5 years, like financially, everything was going like really well, right? Everything was going real, but then she lost her job due to like some unseen fucking thing, right?
Some virus that's been going around.
Some virus, who knows? Something made up that would never really happen to anybody.
Dylan's eyes are still closed, by the way.
They always should be. Dylan, always have your eyes closed. And
sorry, I'm nodding out.
And then, okay, I lost my train of thought. Wait, go back to it. She loses her job, right? So then you're stuck with like all the bills and everything, and like you're like, okay, this is getting stressful, because you bought a house because you guys were in love, and all that stuff, right? And then you lose your job, right? So you're both sitting at a bar, right? You're sitting at a bar and you're looking at each other and you're like, fuck me, what are we gonna fucking do? And then all of a sudden, a very well-dressed man in a top hat and a suit comes over and says,
does he have a cane?
He's got a cane, yes. It's John Benet Ramsey's father. And he says, would you like to have dinner with me? No. He says, I will give you $5.3 million if you let me sleep with your wife for one night.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I can honestly say no.
Okay, what about 10?
I as cheesy as it sounds, dude, like, and we'll be serious for a minute. Do you realize the amount of shit that's gonna stir? Like that's even if you two are both, it ends up happening, you're okay. Even if you both can look each other in the eye and swear up and down it's over. I guarantee you,
it's gonna cause a real problem if she's down for it, just trying to convince you.
Well, yeah,
like, babe, this will change our life.
And
yeah, you're like, right. What the fuck?
There's that whole thing of the fact that she's even entertaining the idea is now a problem.
She's like, it's $5.3 million, Chris.
Yeah.
Can we see how big his dick is?
Yeah.
Before
he's hung. He's fucking.
Have you ever seen? Do you know John Benet Ramsey's dad? Have you ever seen him?
Well, I've heard girls don't even like big dicks. That's what they tell me.
Of course it is.
Like, no, 4.5 inches is perfect. I love your fucking 4 inches.
You nailed it. You're doing great, honey.
No, I can honestly say that I.
That's a hard no for Chris.
Yeah.
Hard no. What about you, Dylan?
I think me and my wife would have to have a serious conversation over in the corner of that bar. And I'd have to feel out her loyalty, dude. I'd have to figure out how well she can fucking either lie to me or lie to him.
Yeah, somebody's getting bullshitted.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting lied to.
If it meant I don't have to fucking serve burritos or dig ditches anymore, yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, in today's, like, 5.3 will get you there and get you, but I don't know.
It'll get you out of the slump, right? It'll get you out of the.
I mean, I guess if you were to do it right, you could stretch it out and make it, investments and all that stuff. But
yeah, okay. So the reason I bring this up is I'm talking to my wife the other night, and we're having this exact conversation.
Oh my! I thought you
not. No,
and a guy in a top hat came up and talked to us.
Exactly, it was the weirdest thing. I was like, no. So we're talking. We're like, would you do? I think it's fucking The Indecent Proposal, right? Like some dude,
it's a movie, yeah.
So she was like, dude, no, like if some hot woman or some ugly fat woman came up to you and came up to me and said, I will give you $5.3 million if I can have your husband for a night. She was like, I would hands down never, absolutely not have a problem with it. And I was like, whoa.
You don't love me. You don't fucking love me.
I was like, whoa.
If anything, you've just like opened the Pandora's box. That's gonna be, you guys are never gonna put that to bed.
Yeah, well,
that's why you gotta have that convo before y'all do it.
I'm like, dude, I would never. But maybe that's like the jealousy thing. Like maybe men are just more fucking jealous than fucking. Because I was like, there's no way some rich fucking asshole.
Well, you know, it's funny. You know what's funny is maybe I should look it up while we're doing this. I don't remember what happened in the movie. Like I don't remember.
I think she does it.
No, she does do it. Yeah, I'm saying I don't remember. It's like a real drama thriller. So I don't know if someone was killed.
Well, let's flip it real quick. What if the proposal was for you to sleep with a woman so that your family would have $5.3 million?
It's the same thing. I think that first of all, my wife would say she wouldn't be about it. But what I'm saying is that I think that even if you did come to the agreement, okay, sure, we'll do it. I don't think that it would. I think that would. It's like dropping a bomb, and it's the ripple effect. It just.
What if your wife just like she was like slammed back a shot and was like, "Fuck, shit, damn, hell yeah, let's fucking do this." You're like, I've never heard you cuss.
I thought you fucking loved me, you dirty whore.
I would probably have I would have probably a few other questions.
I kind of went through this, not on that level, but
in a
hard time. I've had a conversation with a lady about her dancing, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, fuck it, I'm secure." And then, like, when it came down to it, I was like, now? "No, you can't do it."
Wait,
I'm
I don't understand.
allowing you to do it.
I don't understand. Explain. What are you talking about?
A girl I was with, she was like, to make money, she would strip. And I was like, I'm down, I'm secure. But as soon as like it came time to like make the decision, I was like, I'm way too jealous. No, you can't strip.
Well, that's not even, I'll be honest with you. That's not, I don't think
that's worse to me though. Stripping is worse than a one night fuck for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I can see that. All I'm saying is that
penetration, like that's probably worse.
Yeah, but they're probably getting fucked at the strip club too. So, and it's only for $120, not 5.3 million.
Well, I don't think that. Like, I'll be honest with you, and I don't know what this says about me, and if anybody get offended, like I wouldn't want, or I wouldn't let, or well, I shouldn't say let. I would encourage my partner to not do that.
What race are they, by the way? Are they? Because if they're black or Jewish, no.
Well, okay. No. Picture the Monopoly man, the Monopoly guy, with whatever color skin you want.
He's got to be white, dude. It's
got to be white.
These are jokes. Matter. These are jokes. I'm not a racist. I'm a cuck. That's why I'm doing this.
I forgot to tell you, it's very poor. If anyone wants to sleep with my wife for $5.3 million.
Even 5.3 thousand, we can do this.
I'm saying that and as far as, and I'm not judging, but I think that any man that would, like, and I won't say allow, because it's like a man doesn't allow his wife to do anything, but any man that would like be okay with that, I think that's the odd part. It's obviously not odd for someone to be like, no, I don't want you to become a stripper. I think that it's odd that there are men or people that would be okay with that.
I could never date a stripper or a porn star ever. I could never do that.
But you got swingers, you got swingers that are just like open relationships.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing that. That's crazy.
Bring on the chlamydia. Like, what's
I wouldn't.
That happened in Bradshaw all the time, dude. There were swinger parties all in those basements.
Pineapples upside down in the shopping cart. We all know about it.
I thought it was pink flamingos.
No,
it's pineapples.
40.
Oh, that's a gay
40 in DTF.
Well, that was a good show, man. I really enjoyed that. It doesn't even seem like we've been doing this for an hour.
Yeah, no, that went by really quick, y'all. Let's do another hour.
Who wants to do the topic next week? Are we still doing the most white privilege thing you've heard on the show?
Yeah, that's our staple.
I think we can. I haven't really been paying attention to it.
I don't know, man.
We can't force it. I don't want to force it.
No, I'm trying to think back to like what was the most white privilege thing I heard.
Yeah, I couldn't.
We went through serial killers. We went through. What was the other topic we went through?
Dinners. JFK.
Dinners.
Eating dinner with JFK is a pretty white.
That right there. That's
well, that's probably it.
And if it's not, we'll just say it is. Dylan, you get the next. You get the topic next week.
All right. Keep up with your challenge this week, and then Dylan, you got another challenge to come up with next week.
All right, so a topic and a challenge for next week.
Fuck yeah. That's it.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right.
Signing off.
To the bar to find some rich guy.
Yeah.
Does anybody own a top hat and a cane? That's all I need.
Later, guys. Love y'all.
All right, love y'all. Peace.